Hello viewers, in previous lecture on tensor calculus, we had seen that the different reference frames can be connected by the equations of coordinate transformations, and the principle of special relativity states that the laws of physics should take the same mathematical form in all reference frames. Thus the essential information must retain even when we go from one coordinate system to another. For this purpose, there must be some machinery which will tell us what things remain unchanged under coordinate transformations, and such machinery is provided by scalars, vectors and tensors. Already we had learnt in brief about scalars, vectors and tensors in the general sense. In this lecture we shall define these quantities by using the concept of coordinate transformations. So first of all we define a scalar which is also called as an invariant. So scalar is an object or quantity which is not changed under coordinate transformation. For example, mass of a body. If m is the mass of any body calculated in one coordinate system, then in another coordinate system it is again the same as m. Now we define it mathematically. Suppose there are two different coordinate systems. They are denoted by xi and x dash j. S is some physical quantity whose values in these two coordinate systems are given by s and s dash, or s of xi and s dash of x dash j. If these two quantities are the same in both these coordinate systems, that means s is equal to s dash or s of xi is equal to s dash of x dash j, then such a quantity is called as invariant or scalars. Scalars are also called as tensors of rank or order 0. Next we shall discuss about vectors. Vectors are the physical quantities having magnitude and direction. Vectors are divided into two parts, contravariant and covariant vectors. Now we shall see how the vectors are categorized as contravariant and covariant. So first of all we see about contravariant vectors. Suppose Vn is an n-dimensional vector space over a field F. We know that for a vector space there are the bases and there are more than one basis for a same vector space. Whenever vector space is of dimension n, each basis contain n vectors. So here we consider two different bases for this n-dimensional space Vn. Suppose those two different bases are collection Ei and collection E dash j. Now any vector in the vector space can be expressed as the linear combination of the basis vectors, and therefore these vectors can be expressed as the linear combination of the vectors of this basis. Similarly, the vectors of this basis can be expressed as the linear combination of the vectors in this basis. So we have E dash j is equal to the linear combination of Ei. These are the scalars taken here. Similarly, Ei is the linear combination of E dash k. Substituting for Ei equals to this, in this equation we have E dash j is equal to alpha ij beta ki E dash k. Alpha ij and beta ki, these are the scalars. No need to take one upper and one lower suffix. You can take both the suffixes as lower suffixes or both the suffixes as upper suffixes. Now this relation suggests that this alpha ij beta ki is equal to 0 if j is not equal to k, and it is 1 if j equals to k. Now we shall see why the value of this alpha ij beta ki must be 1 for j is equal to k and 0 for j is not equal to k. So consider this equation number 3. Whenever j is equal to k, this becomes E dash j is equal to alpha ij beta ji E dash j, and hence this quantity should be 1, because on the left hand side there is E dash j and we must get E dash j on the right hand side. So for this must be 1. Whenever j is not equal to k, this quantity must be 0. Otherwise this will be E dash j is equal to some non-zero quantity multiplied by this E dash k, which means E dash j is a scalar multiple of E dash k. Means E dash j and E dash k are not linearly independent. which is a contradiction because these are the vectors of same basis and basis vectors are linearly independent. But here we are getting they are not linearly independent, and hence this product must be 0 for j is not equal to k. So we have this is equal to 1 for j equals to k. Now for j equals to k, this equation 3 becomes e dash j is equal to alpha ij beta ji e dash j, that is this e dash j means e dash 1 e dash 2 up to e dash n. Similarly e dash j, that is e dash 1 e dash 2 up to e dash n into this is the matrix this, or the vector e1 dash e2 dash up to en dash equals to the product of these two matrices into the vector e1 dash e2 dash up to en dash. Now for the identity, the product of these two matrices must be the identity matrix, that is this product is equal to identity matrix. That means this is equal to 1 or alpha ij beta ki is equal to 1 for j equals to k. That means these two matrices alpha ij, this is the matrix alpha ij, this is matrix beta ki, their product is the identity matrix, means these two matrices are inverse to each other, that is the transformation is orthogonal. So remember that we have obtained that the transformation is orthogonal. Now let x is any vector of that n dimensional space Vn. Therefore that can be expressed as the linear combination of the basis vectors e1 e2 up to en. Similarly they can be expressed as the linear combination of the basis vectors e1 dash e2 dash up to en dash. Here the a1 a2 up to an are the scalars taken, or they can be taken as a1 superscript 1 superscript 2 and so on. So we have x equal to ai ei as well as x equal to a dash k e dash k. Now these equations 4 and 5 gives us a dash k e dash k, this equals to ai ei. We have the equations e dash j equal to alpha ij ei, that is equation 1 and 2 which we have seen earlier. Now solving these equations we get a dash k equal to beta ki ai and ai equals to alpha ik a dash k. Now look at the transformation rules so obtained. E dash j equals to alpha ij ei, that is equation 1. Ei equals to beta ji e dash j, that is equation 2. And equation number 7, that is a dash j equal to beta ji ai, and this equation number 8, ai equals to alpha ij a dash j. These are the transformation rules for basis vectors, and these are the transformation rules for any arbitrary vector. Thus the transformation rules for the basis vectors and any arbitrary vector in Vn are opposite to each other. You can see here ei gets transformed into e dash j where the scalars are beta ji, or this is the matrix is beta ji, but the quantity in dash system gets transformed into the quantity in without dash system where the matrix is this. So any vector gets transformed in contrast to the basis vectors or in opposite to the basis vectors. Such vectors are called contravariant vectors. Now we will see how the components of any vector gets transformed in contrast to the components or in contrast to the basis vectors. So consider the example. Suppose V2 is two-dimensional vector space, and here we consider two different coordinate systems x and x dash. Now as the vector space is two-dimensional, its basis contain two vectors. So suppose this is the basis containing two vectors e1 and e2 in x system. In another system, suppose the basis vectors are e1 dash and e2 dash. Let A be any vector in V2. Then that vector A can be expressed as the linear combination of these basis vectors as well as these basis vectors. So we have A equal to the linear combination of E1, E2 as well as A equals to linear combination of E1 dash and E2 dash. Here A1, A2 are the scalars taken in X system and A1 dash, A2 dash are the scalars taken in X dash system. Suppose under the coordinate transformation, E1 dash and E2 dash are transformed into E1 and 4 times E2. Means E1 dash gets transformed into E1, E2 dash gets transformed into 4 times E2. Using this equation becomes A equals to A1 dash, E1 dash, E1 dash is E1, A2 dash and E2 dash is 4 times E2. So it is 4 times E2, that is A1 dash E1 plus 4 times A2 dash E2. Now A equals to A1 E1 plus A2 E2 and A equals to A1 dash E1 plus 4 times A2 dash E2. This shows that 4 times A2 dash is equal to A2. That is A2 dash is equal to 1 by 4 A2. So thus when the second basis vector E2 dash in X dash system is 4 times of E2, then the second component of A, that is A2 dash in X dash system, becomes 1/4 of A2. That is the component of an arbitrary vector in V2 transformed in the opposite manner of a basis vector. Such vector component is called as contravariant. Next we will see how the transformation law for a contravariant vector is obtained. Suppose A and B are any two points in xy plane, that is in two-dimensional space. So the vector AB is y1 minus x1, y2 minus x2. So these are the components of the vector AB. Or this AB can be written as z1, z2, where z1 is y1 minus x1 and z2 is y2 minus x2. Or AB equal to zi, where I takes the values 1, 2. All these quantities are taken in X system. Similarly, in X dash system, this vector AB that can be written as z dash I, where z dash I is equal to y dash I minus x dash I equals to 1, 2. Let the transformation of coordinates be orthogonal and it is given by x dash 1 is equal to a11 x1 plus a12 x2 plus b1, x dash 2 equal to a21 x1 plus a22 x2 plus b2. Similarly, y dash 1 equal to a11 y1 plus a12 y2 plus b1, y dash 2 equal to a21 y1 plus a22 y2 plus b2. Since the transformation is orthogonal, matrix of transformation a11 a12 a21 a22 is orthogonal. a11 a12 a21 a22, that matrix is orthogonal. Or these equations can be written in short as x dash I equal to aij xj plus bi. Similarly, y dash I is equal to aij yj plus bi, ij equal to 1, 2 by using Einstein summation convention. Then z dash I, which is equal to y dash I minus x dash I, that is y dash 1 minus x dash 1, y dash 2 minus x dash 2. Y dash 1 means y dash 1 minus x dash 1, taking the difference of this and this, we get this, and y dash 2 minus x dash 2 is this. So we have z dash I is equal to the matrix a11 a12 a21 a22 into y1 minus x1 y2 minus x2, or z dash I can be written in this form, which then gives us z dash I equals to aij zj for ij equals to 1, 2. Now differentiating the equation x dash I is equal to aij xj plus bi partially with respect to xj, we get del x dash I by del xj equals to aij. Substituting for aij equals to del x dash I by del xj, here we get z dash I equals to del x dash I by del xj zj. So when we take the orthogonal transformation of coordinate x's, the vector zi transform according to this law. Thus the vector which transform according to this law is called the contravariant vector. So keep this in mind, when the vector is contravariant, that gets transformed according to this law.